locked outside, and what a game they missed. Archie looks first at the two lineups.
Dundee United have made only one change from the side which performed heroics on Wednesday night in Eindhoven, with young Maurice Malthus coming in at number 2. Other than that, you're looking at the heroes of Holland, an honour they share with the team they're playing today, Celtic, and notably because they've got one of the best goalkeepers in the land. Hamish McAlpin, just over 34 years of age, and he's the only goalkeeper in British football that can claim that this season he hasn't conceded a single league goal. George McCluskey, who received a rapturous reception from the Celtic support. He's only a sub today, but I'm sure in the days of the future, when he's got his grandchildren around him, George will regale them with tales of the famous goal he scored against Ajax that brought Celtic back from the dead. And amongst those people who congratulated on his feat, the Celtic bank manager. And Celtic are quite unchanged. That magnificent performance that they turned in gave Scottish football, along with the other sides that performed well, Rangers and Aberdeen, its biggest boost for years. And the referee about to stop the game, David Syme. Well, they've closed some of the gates here at Tannadice. Some just to the left are open, and from this new commentary position of mine, way up at the top of the stand, I can see down to the left, which we can't pick up with the cameras, unfortunately for you. Some supporters still crowning to get into this ground, which is absolutely jam-packed. Good clearance there by Hegarty. Rather slack ball it looked to me from McAdam, but picked up well. Now Neary. Eases that out gently and given away by Eamon Bannon. Nicholas. Scored the first goal in Amsterdam. Look at the way he slipped the ball through the legs again. He does that with great skill. This is a good-looking attack, and McGarvey picks up. McLeod, McStay. Very tight in there. McGarvey wriggles through. Still not cleared. McStay goes down, and that was a free kick. Right on the edge of the box. Couldn't have been any nearer. So, Provan is there, as is McLeod. Good defensive lineup by the Tangerine Jerseys, and Danny McGrain trying his luck. Talking to Danny at lunchtime today, and I think he considers the result on Wednesday night one of the best of his career. Mill right off the top of the head. Good running by Dodds and McAdam. Ushers it out. This should be interesting, the duel between that pair. Both very good in the air. Stoddart wriggled his freedom there. There's a brilliant shot and save. Well filled. Beautifully put back by Stoddart. Now that's a high quality shot. Look at the barriers he had. Players in front of him. The goalkeeper there who twisted and did quite superbly to get that touched away. Beautiful move there by McLeod, bringing it down, shoving it all in the one motion. Charlie Nicholas doesn't mind picking the ball up with his back to goal, has the ability to wriggle through. He wants a kind of 1-2 and he gets it. Richard Goff. Sinclair in hard from the back. Graham Sinclair making his league debut for Celtic today. But imagine going to Holland and being asked to mark Johan Cruyff. I'm sure Celtic must have given them treble the bonus for that. Well, Bannon was locking at the back, but Davy Provan picks up Aiken. McStay making the run on the line. Nearly turns. Referee waste play on Nearly in a Franco. And I think you look to the referee, Nelly, I think that was causing him a little confusion. He wasn't quite sure if the referee was going to give an award there. Muddy McLeod. United looking a little bit shaky there. Well, that's a good run by Probin. Can he get the shot in? Brilliant tackle. What a powerful figure David Nerry is. Well, that's one of the saddest sights in football, being locked out of a game. And would you believe, we started the season worrying about empty terracings. Probin takes over, tries to wriggle his way through, that's no foul. And mostly it's been United on the defensive. Sturrock. Well, it's astonishing that Goff was given that freedom. Is it a touch there? Mills scored! Oh, no! Well, he almost took the crossbar away. Good ball out initially to Goff, touched inside. Then that lovely turnaround by Mill, and look at the ferocity of the shot. I think, in fact, you overdid it. A little camera, and that would have stayed in. Sinclair. Looking very strong going in there. It's not a bad ball either. Nicholas did the little shuffle. Hooks it round. Too much height, I think, a deflection. The corner kick. Short one by David Probin. That's a good-looking one, and it was McAdam coming in. McStale tried a long shot. Oh! For the second week in a row. From exactly the same position. 20 minutes gone. And lightning strikes twice. Believe you me. Doing what he did against Hibs. There wasn't much time to make up his mind. Hardly any room. And that is driven with the greatest control. Quite superb. 1-0. And the substitute is going to have to be substituted. I think he's only been on 4 minutes. Away he goes. And on comes Britton now. Ian Britton, signed over the close season from Chelsea. A very useful performer indeed. That's a very bad blow to United. Goff. Only down to McStay. Well, the referee said that was accidental. Britton picked it up. And Mill allows it to go too far. McGarvey. Aiken. Nicholas. He did well to get that. Suddenly swerved. I think it took Hamish McAlpin on. He thought it was coming right through to him. There's a good-looking ball now. Sturrock, what can he make of this? That's a better ball inside Britton. Sturrock. Oh, Sinclair showing a lot of pace here. Kirkwood. Britton, right off it. Neary. Kirkwood. More in hope than anything else. Little bit of sustained pressure by United. Picking their game up. Heartening the crowd as David Dodds picks this up, and he got his shot in. Oh, I don't think you can blame him for that. Couldn't have done any better. awkward ball on the outside, the goal to his left-hand side. The player between himself and the goal, and yet he got his shot in. Warner did very well to suffocate it. That's a good header by Hegarty. Milne, first time he's been able to run at McGrain since the start of the game. And he does well. There's a dummy. Sturrock, no penalty kick. That was a beautiful move by United. Perhaps the best of the match. And it all came from what I'm sure Jim McLean would have hoped today. Milne taking on Danny McGrain. Superb pace getting to the line. The dummy, Sturrock couldn't get in on it. Muffled appeals for a penalty, but it certainly wasn't. Neri. Kirkwood overdoes it. Hegarty. And there goes a half-time whistle with signs of a Dundee United revival, heartening their very big support here, but I think the loudest applause will come from the other end of the ground, where the masses of green and white supporters are. I think they were stunned after only 13 minutes when Ralph Milne almost took the crossbar away. I think if he had decided to pick his spot and been a bit more careful, he would have scored. But the outstanding moment, that 20th minute goal by Paul McStay, I've already gone lyrical about it, but was seeing again. And that's the difference. Celtic, that bit more positive. And I think United, with the unfortunate substitutions they've had, are up against it. Well, I don't know. You know, looking at the games we've had in this programme so far, every indication we're going to have a marvellous season, despite the gloom that enshrouded the game to start off with. Big crowds, well, you've seen it all in sports scene, the big crowds, great goals, good performances, the best European game I've seen in years recently. And now this today, a superlative goal by a teenager in front of a capacity gate. Reid. Paul Sturrock beginning to show little glimpses of his better self. Charlie Nicholas has this technique of letting a player rush to him, turning quickly. Oh, good ball inside, and again Nicholas drifts it. Magnificent ball to Aiken. Yes! 2-0. With just a minute of the second half gone. Now that is what we call supporting each other. There was a drift ball with the touch to the side, and it needed a very good ball to get through the wall. It did, but added to that was a drive of Aiken and the accuracy of the shot. And there you are, 2-0 up, and judging by the way it's going, Celtic, I think, might have put themselves in an invulnerable situation. Neri, bit unsure. Stark. Right through the tunnel of Celtic players to another Celtic player. Celtic strength lies in this enormous midfield that they now have. Well balanced between the power of Aiken you saw tackling there and the subtleties of the younger player, Paul McStay. And that's offside. That's not where the offside was, but taken very quickly. Golf is in that far side. Kirkwood's in and just over. Now there's been no poise about the United in front of goal. The same sort of nervous quality in finishing that we saw from Ralph Milne. McLeod gets away with it. Quick free kick taken. Intelligent play again by McStay. Didn't want to hang around. There he is. Nicholas. Oh, that's a brilliant ball. And good running by Nicholas. If he had chipped that in, that would have been a classic. The two young players together. The neat kind of overlapping, dovetailing effect. That easy style, pushing it forward, and Nicholas, I think, a trifle too ambitious. And George McCluskey is about to come on. There will be a very special reception for him. Here he comes. Warm applause from the packed terracings, because this gentleman, with his other mates of course, he put the finishing touch. This gentleman kept Celtic in Europe. David Dodds won't get there. There's McCluskey. Once somebody on the outside, and eventually got Probin. Oh, he controlled it neatly. Can he lay it away again? That's a good one too. Feels for a penalty, and the referee says no. Almost slow motion, that 1-2. It was so obvious, but looked as if he was getting round, and thought there might have been the slightest hampering. That's towards Sturrock this time, and the corner is given, although the United players were screaming at the referee for more than that. Penalty, I think they did. Sturrock getting the first opportunity of a run right straight through the middle of the Celtic defence. There's Hegarty. Now, kind of muted appeal for a penalty kick. Mill. Stark. Everybody back for Celtic. Milne slinging it over. Hegarty not really positive enough in that. That brilliant flick picked up by Kirkwood though. Milne, Sturrock, and he gets round the keeper. There's a great chance. David Dodds makes it 2-1 with 14 minutes of the game remaining. And that turnaround by Sturrock is of course one of his best mannerisms in the match. Whipping it round, good save by Bonner, but Dodds, as he is wont to do, picking up the piece, sticking it away. Aiken drives forward. Bissonville against Monaghan. Running out of options there, could only give that to Davy Provan. Aiken. Round the outside, and I think a bit too much for Reid. Certainly, United have come back. Look a much more enlivened team. Dodds. Oh, that's a great shot. Just Kirkwood with it. And United really ought not to have spun that chance. That was really driven in hard, back there. And eventually the chip a bit inept. McCluskey doesn't get away with it. Sturrock turns well this time. That's a good ball to David Dodds. Just pass. And United really, for the first time in this game, are beginning to flow with the style that we recognise so much is their own brand of football. McStay goes for the return. Aiken, McCluskey plays it wide. Proven. That's the chip. Who's up for it? Well, McLeod was there, but Ralph Milne had come all the way back. This game really pulsating with life again. What a curling at, and Hamish McAlpin did commit himself. This is meant for Sturrock. Eight minutes remaining. That's a good ball. McCluskey. The tangerine jersey's brought towards him. Picked up by Danny McGrain. There's the 1-2, a bit too obvious though, and Malpas can't get that. Hoisted up by McAlpin. Kipwood. Oh, that was a very awkward ball indeed. Nicholas allowing the player to get right over it. Seven minutes remaining. That is very wide indeed. Sturrock won't get it. Nicholas, turned by Milne. Nobody there for United. Danny McGrain picks that up and does very well. Slag ball by McAdam. The last 15 minutes certainly the best part of the game for United, but they left it too late. Corbin, Aiken, there's plenty of room. Here's Proven. That's a better ball! Almost there. Great ball by Proven, and look at McCluskey raging in. Bent down and a bit too straight with it all. Britton. Oh, gives it away, McCluskey. Turns well on it. Wants to go forward himself. It's a great run by McCluskey, but picked off. This time by Hegarty. Goff. Britton. Good tackle by Monty McLeod, and Neri very easily forward. Sturrock. Here's Milne. David Dodds. In goes Sturrock. Oh, great ball. That is the equaliser. United have done it with only 5 minutes remaining. Would you believe it? I thought they were dead just after the interval with that second goal by Aiken. But look at this superbly set up goal with three of the best players involved in it. Milne, Sturrock, and that great shot by Milne eventually. Dodds in on it. Look at the way he drove it in, a great ball. Sinker looked to be leading. Goff. Billy Kipwood. United on the counter-attack. Here's Milne. And it goes. There's Goff with it, and it's just past. And the big man who had started it, the South African, coming driving up there to get his head to the ball. Amazing finish to this game. Davy Proven has it, and he can keep it because the final whistle is gone, and the applause in the background for both teams, United for that remarkable fightback of theirs in the second half, attack by Billy McNeill to Jim McLean. Little shake of the head there by John Clark away up in front, as if he realised that Celtic, you could interpret this game as having thrown the game away. Well, that would do a disservice to United, who stormed back in with that 15 minutes to go, thus delighting the supporters, not just with the skill, but with the courage and the spirit.
Well, you know, there's an equation in the game which goes 2 down to Celtic equals oblivion. You've just seen for yourselves how United upset the arithmetic and displayed a grit that surely they've developed from their European experiences. They refuse to give in, and this is sometimes more valuable an asset than inherent skill. The Celtic party looked disappointed at the end, for after all the long spells, they quite simply looked the better side. But I would imagine Billy McNeill will be saying something tomorrow morning about staying the course to the end. And I asked that unwavering perfectionist Jim McLean afterwards if he could divorce himself from the managerial position and just regard the match as another great advert for the game of football.
I think I can do it now, but I've no job to do for Scottish football sitting in the dugout there. I have a job to do for Dundee United, and make no mistake here, it's when Dundee United is not functioning the way they can do, then I've got to try and help to sort these problems out. And I'm only interested in, first and foremost, Dundee United playing exceptionally well, and Dundee United entertaining. At the end of the game I can say, oh well, Celtic played extremely well and they were a better side on the day. And for at least half the game, Celtic most certainly were the better side today.
But doesn't help you in just standing back admiring the game in total?
Well, if I sit back and admire it, then we'll definitely lose the game. At the end of the day, I don't think that I won the point, but the players' attitude most certainly did.
Yeah, did you think you were dead? I thought you were. A minute
Definitely.
into the second half.
Yeah, well, I'm apprehensive about any game, actually, but when you're playing one of the best sides in Scotland, in my opinion, the best side in Scotland, because they've won the title in the last 2 years, you most certainly don't give any teams like that 2 goals, you'll start and come back.
That was a fine first goal, in fact, wasn't it?
Celtic's first goal, well, there was a slight deflection, but if I'd have been manager of Celtic, I'd have been very, very impressed with the goal.
Did you feel there was a slight slackness when Roy Aitken scored his second goal, however well he took it?
Oh, one of the young players in our team was most certainly caught ball watching. Roy Aitken made a very good run off one of our players, but I hope that the player concerned eliminates that mistake.
I thought one of the important factors near the end for your fight back, apart from anybody else in the team, was that Paul Sturrock began to turn people and become more effective.
Yes, Paul Sturrock, again, without doubt, is one of the important factors of Dundee United's progress in the last year, but he definitely wasn't doing it early on.
No.
Paul Sturrock's not a player that holds the ball up like Kenny Dalglish and lays it back. As far as I'm concerned, Paul Sturrock's a player who must go and attack people.
Would you give a piece of advice to Ralph Milne in the art of finishing? Because it seemed to me he had one of the best chances of the game, didn't score, and then scored a quite excellent goal at the end.
Ralph Milne is the type of finisher he was in scoring the second goal. He's definitely a hitter at the target rather than when he gets a chance and a wee bit of time to place the ball. Years ago there was far more finishers like that, and Jimmy Greaves, for instance, was a prime example, but it's very, very difficult to... I don't think Jimmy Greaves could score some of the goals that Ralph Milne will score from around the box and outside the box, but it's very difficult at the age that he's at to get the best of both worlds. But I'm trying hard, and the boys got to listen a lot, and I hope that he does achieve.
Is the game on the up and up, despite what everybody was saying about it at the start of the season?
Well, I think, speaking about this game, as far as I'm concerned, anybody that was on the terraces there and didn't get their money's worth, then I don't know where they'll need to go for a match.
What more can you do?
There's nothing more you can do. Today it finished an absolutely magnificent match.
All in all, a very impressive afternoon. These two teams are, to my mind, playing the best football in the country at the moment by a short neck from Rangers. I get the distinct impression, by the way, that the overall standard of the game is higher this season. Nobody is going to run away with this league early on.